Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, this is fight week for a couple of fighters that, I'm not watching, but I understand that these are big fighters. Actually, these fighters are great guys. Not great guys, but great fighters, right? But it's just too much politics around these fighters to the point where I love boxing, but not enough. My principles are more important than the damn boxing match, right? It's too much going on around these guys. Both of them about the top 5 to top 7 pound for pound, one of them being number 1. Canelo Alvarez is going to fight Callum Smith this week on Saturday, and Gennady Golovkin is going to fight Camille Szeremeta on Friday, right? 2 middleweights. Canelo's is middleweight / super middleweight / whatever weight he want to fight at. It don't matter anyway. The WBC is going to follow him and give him a belt for the fight. So, bottom line is, I ain't watching them. You know I'm not anyway. I don't have to tell anybody that comes in here. It's 3 of y'all that come in here. Thanks for that. But spread the news if you want to. If not, whatever. But it is what it is. Like I said before, I can't know all this information and then, hey, I'm going to sit down and watch this fight when there's other sport popping off. Are you crazy? Bottom line is this. Let's start with Gennady Golovkin and Camille Szeremeta. Bottom line is, both of these fighters, Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, are not fighting Andrade or Charlo. They're not. And these fights materialize because of that reason. So for me, as long as a Canelo or a Gennady Golovkin is in front of Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade on the pound for pound list without fighting them, I ain't watching them, because that's not fair. And I don't care who doesn't like that, because most people that don't like that have something else popping off anyway, so they're not going to like me. Now, knowing all these informations, I just can't handle it. Bottom line is this. Gennady Golovkin is going to fight Camille Szeremeta. Camille Szeremeta is now the mandatory. He wasn't at first. He's about 20-0 with 5 KOs. And that's why Gennady Golovkin is going to fight him, so he can walk him down and look good doing so. I know that Gennady Golovkin didn't want to fight Andrade, Charlo, or anyone formidable after the Derenchenko fight, and he's not going to do so. And they're going to try to get a trilogy with Canelo Alvarez, which no one wants to see. But the mainstream media will tell you that you do. Because of these reasons and more, which I'm not going to get into because I'm going to keep it moving. Bottom line is, I can't watch Gennady Golovkin versus Szeremeta. Whatever. I might see it a day or two later. Whatever. I can't. Listen. I'll talk about if they lose. I'm going to be honest with y'all. If Gennady Golovkin loses, I'll be back and I'll talk about the fight. But he's going to walk him down and win, and it's not even, I don't even think it's going to be competitive, to be honest. And that's the kind of fight they want to have. And the bottom line with Gennady Golovkin, there's too many of those lately. Too many. You're not going to have Vanis Matterose and Steve Rose, right? Then you get Derenchenko, and it's a hard fight. Don't give him a rematch and goes right to Camille Szeremeta and beg to get him. I didn't like it. When Andrade and Charlo are there with titles in your division. Ain't happening. So, and I used to like Gennady Golovkin, but it ain't happening. Canelo Alvarez, listen, everything that's wrong with boxing is happening around this guy, right? The WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman should be banned from boxing with his behavior in the last 2 years. Should be banned. This should be illegal to do all of this stuff that he's doing. And I'm not going to break it down in this video again. Bottom line is Canelo's fighting for the WBA championship at super middleweight with Callum Smith, which is a decent fight, right? But the guy's made for Canelo Alvarez, and he's not fighting Demetrius Andrade or Charlo either when he said he wanted to unify the 160-pound division. He had the opportunity to do so last year fighting Demetrius Andrade for one fight, and he would have had an undisputed. He ignored it, along with mainstream media and all this other media that be talking like they knew and all of that. Didn't mention that fight. How do you mention you talking boxing on here and you missed the undisputed fight because it's Demetrius Andrade? We treat Demetrius Andrade like he's Bigfoot, like he doesn't exist. I ain't having it. Demetrius Andrade is my number 1 pound for pound. Everybody else, there's to the lengths of what Canelo has gone through to not fight this guy makes me know how awesome he must be, or at least this. And how often Canelo and his team thinks he is. All right, he might not be that awesome, but damn it, they think he is. He had a $365 million contract with DAZN and don't want to honor it because they asking him to fight people like Demetrius Andrade. $35 million to fight, and you ain't gonna fight this guy. But the guy's not nothing with a title, and you'll become undisputed. Ain't happening. Him or Charlo either, and Canelo's up there gonna fight Callum Smith, which is a decent fight, but that ain't what we're trying to see. It's just not. And the WBC has nothing to do with the fight. Now he's gonna put that belt on the line as well, and then tell you in 60 days he's got to fight Admiral Yildirim instead of David Benavidez, right? Canelo wasn't gonna try to fight Gilberto Ramirez neither when he was down at 168, right? So he's just picking and choosing, right? And all of this stuff is, for me, it's just too far for me to sit back and enjoy a fight. And it's really hard because Canelo is awesome. He's going to bang the body from Callum Smith for a while, to where Callum Smith's going to bring them hands down, then they're going to up left hook, and that's going to be it. Now, whatever. If there's another scenario, if Callum Smith wins the fight, I'll talk about it, right? Because I'll be happy that Canelo lost. And it's not because of Canelo Alvarez. It's because of all the politics and all the things that the people are doing to enable him to do this. This should not be allowed. You can't have people make it to the semifinals and we don't want to see the finals. These brothers can never make it to the finals. It's like, hey, Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, you ain't never making the finals. And so people don't know how good you are. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's not going to work like that, right? You have to let these guys have opportunities to be great and get to the finals, but we're not. So we'll watch Canelo versus Callum Smith. It's not a fight we wanted. It's a decent fight, but it's not the fight we wanted, right? Period. It ain't. And Gennady Golovkin and Szeremeta either. Decent fights or whatever, but we could have had the other fights, because the guys that I'm talking about would have fought them whenever. And this is not new. These are not prospects I'm talking about. These are guys who've been wanting to fight these guys for about 4 to 5 years with belts in their hands. So whatever. They're going to fight this weekend. Y'all check it out. But those are my reasons why I won't. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. Enjoy yourselves. And I'm up out of here.